How's it going, conference report? Thanks, man. I just want to say thank you for actually presenting a certain aspect of theism in somewhat of a positive light. A lot of atheists don't do that, and I do thank you for that. Because I think if we're ever going to have a real good communication between theists and atheists, we need to be willing to see both sides of the argument and be willing to actually communicate to the point to which we can actually have a conversation. And that's why I'm making this video. I want to talk about how I theism. Because you're right, there's other way to theism than believing God is, this man living in the sky, so on and so forth. I don't believe it. I think that's a very simplistic understanding of God. I think it's generally wrong. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about my theism. First, I'm gonna try to speak about it as quickly as possible. So when I was younger, I kind of always believed in God. I've believed in God for as long as I can remember. But what got me after going to church a few times was they told me that God knew and cared about me. That was something that really I just didn't understand. I was like, so you're telling me the person who created the universe, the being who created the universe, this universe that we're living in right now, this this huge fucking universe that we're living in right now, actually cares about me personally, knows about my personal suffering. This insignificant creature on one insignificant planet actually knows about my pain and my suffering. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, I'm not sure I believe that. But one night I asked for a sign from God, and I asked for a sign at that second, or at that moment, at that very time, and I asked for one thing specifically, yeah, specifically, I hate that word. Anyways, and I asked for that at that very point in time, and God gave it to me at that fucking very point in time. And it was the only time I ever asked for a sign like that. And God did it right away. And ever since then, I was a believer. But there's later in my life, there's a point in time to which I came to actually start doubting, because I was really looking to find myself. I was at a point of self-discovery, looking to find who I was and how I was outside of everybody else's perspective, outside of everybody else's ideas, or outside of everybody else's understanding. I really want to find out and figure out who I was and how I was. And I eventually came to that conclusion. It was a beautiful conclusion, but before that, I came to a point of atheism, and I really started questioning. And in order to try to explain my new worldview with the thing that happened to me, I just chopped it up to coincidence, like huge coincidence. I was like, it's just a coincidence, just a coincidence. It was just a really, really, really big coincidence that exact thing happened at that exact time. I was like, okay, that was just coincidence. And I was like, maybe there is no God. And it was a big moment for me, because I understood atheism, the whole perspective, that eye-opening moment is like, this world seems to work perfectly without God. There is no God, that type of understanding that, everything is within my realm of control. Well, not everything is within my realm of control, but this world just works like this, and this is how it fits in together. This is how this fits in together. This is how this fits in here, and all this stuff just works like it does. And the crazy thing happened was I started to get nervous, like I'm giving up a lifetime believing in God, and that's just it. And the funniest thing happened, I was like, I actually don't need to answer that question. I don't need to answer that question, is God not real? Or is God real or not? Because what I realized earlier was that I was a humanist. I actually came up with the word humanism and humanist before I even realized there were words. And I'm freaking ecstatic for a day, because a day or two, because I thought it was gonna be Webster and stuff like, oh my God, people need to understand that humanism is a shit. It's the next stage of evolution. It's the next stage of evolution. This shit is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be like a guru or some shit. And I checked and looked up humanism and got really disappointed. But anyways, anyways, I digress. Yeah, so I came to the position of humanism, and then when I came to the question of, the one question that I was so scared of answering, is God real or not, I came to a new understanding that was just eye-opening, which was, I don't need to answer that. Because what I care about personally, what is of value to me in my life, what gives me the most value in life, is helping other people. And I could do that with a God or without a God. So I didn't need to close the door on God whatsoever. I could still believe, and I could still have a room for belief in God, because of the fact that God at that point in time, did it need to be answered? Whether God was real or not didn't need to be answered. I'm happy, and I'm actually happy I left the door open because of the fact that later in life, God literally showed, and well, not showed himself to me, but God proved his existence to me in a very, very real way. It was an extremely real way. I don't go into just out of respect for God. I don't want to cheapen the experience, but God did show like his awesomeness to me, and God is real. I just thought I'd say that, but anyways, I digress even more. I want to go into how I think Jesus was an artist, so on and so forth. This isn't like I'm not a huge Christian or anything. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus as God. I don't believe Jesus was God, but I believe in God Jesus prayed to. That's who I believe in. And yeah, it was pretty interesting because what my understanding of Jesus is, I'm not sure if this is divinely inspired, or if I just came up with it, but I believe Jesus was the first person to ever come to a better sense of morality of that world, or the first person to actually take action from it. Like, I think Jesus came to a certain understanding about the world being really fucked up at the point in time, and about everybody's moralities being really screwed up. And from that position and from that point, put it and took it upon himself to change the world for the better. And at times I think he probably even doubted it, probably like, there may not be a God. Something like I did. I'm not trying to attribute myself to Jesus, but just an understanding like, if God's not real, I'm still teaching a message that will probably live past my life. And this message will continue, will make people more moral and better people. And I'm going to preach this message because of the fact shit is really fucked up here. On the other hand, probably like God probably is real, and I'm teaching his message, and I'm going to teach it till I die, because that's what's right. I think there's both sides of Jesus, that it was about a higher sense of morality. It was about changing the morals of that time, changing them for the better. And I think that's what a lot of people do. And I think that's what some people, I don't say a lot of people, it's definitely not a lot of people. I mean, I think that's what some people do. They take a certain understanding, a certain viewpoint of a better morality, and they move like almost the entirety of humanity forward by putting that morality on their life. They pretty much, like Martin Luther King or Gandhi, they presented and put a morality in place that was better than the one at that point in time, and by their death have increased I don't want to say increase, I'm not sure how to describe morality, have perpetuated a better form of morality for all of humanity to enjoy. And it just blows my mind to think about people that moral. Like, people so moral, they're willing to die to progress all of humanity. And how we define morality is subjective. And when a person literally takes their subjective morality, and from their death, their subjective morality pushes human morality to the next stage, the next point, is that even subjective anymore? I think it might be objective. I don't know. I'm not sure you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, but it's like how moral can you be if you're more moral than the society that you're brought up in? Is it even considered morality anymore? Because morality generally is mainly judged by the community at that point in time. That's how morality is judged. And to have a better morality than the community at hand is freaking insane. I mean, to be that moral of a person is just insanity to me. It's beautiful insanity to me. But that's what I think Jesus did, and that's what I think a lot of people in this world did. Not a lot, a few. But I think it's a beautiful perspective to have. I think Jesus was an artist. I think Martin Luther King was an artist. College Report, I think you're an artist, you're looking at the world in a certain way that most other people don't have time for. And then you represent this in a new form, a new fashion, and a new idea, your art's ideas. And I love that shit. So, just gotta say respect, dude. Have a good one. Peace. I'm out.